Good morning, everybody. Lovely chilly morning here in early December on our way to the holiday season. Happy holidays from Ruby. Today, Ruby and I are talking about trade shows and events. So live events are back. That is happening. So everybody during the pandemic did their virtual events. And nobody knew how to do virtual events, and they were horrible. Let's be very honest. If you're lucky, you got a fancy PowerPoint. Somebody who knew something about a subject, they might. The really good ones sent you like a pre-work package or like a swag bag or something along those lines. But they were terrible. It doesn't mean that they're not useful, but they have a very specific use, which is to really draw awareness to a business and maybe a topic and maybe throw a little brand in there. Sure. However, trade shows are back with a vengeance. So everybody who used to do trade shows wants to go back to doing trade shows, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is, prior to COVID, trade shows were horrible. Horrible to be at, horrible to try to drive business towards. And that is a general statement. Some companies did it very well. Some did not do it well at all. And now that they're back, we got to think differently about how we approach the events. So first and foremost, how much is this thing costing us? You know, if we're going to go to Vegas and spend $100,000, gosh, we better get a pipeline out of that. And 90% of the companies that go to these events pay for the booth, get on the plane, get the hotels, pay for the food, and then they stand in the booth with their flat screen TV or whatever they've got and their little one-pagers and the little fish bowl that they're giving away the iPad on. And they stand there and they drink bad coffee and get sore feet. And that's about all they get. And that's awful. That's a terrible way of using our, finite resources in a world where you think you're going to get business. So what's a better way? Lots of better ways. So first and foremost, and I say this to anybody that will listen, if you have to get the booth, get the booth. If that comes with the strings attached, fine. If you don't have to get the booth, don't get the booth. What you need to do is get yourself on a panel. Get yourself a speaking engagement. Stand out from the cattle on the floor of the trade show. Can we be different? Can we stand out? Can we become a resource, a thought leader for that little trade show and that little niche? What does that feel like? So that's step one. A, don't get the booth unless you have to. B, make sure you're on a podium somewhere. And then C, set up yourself to get meetings. Get meetings at the show with people that you are prospecting, with people that are customers. Get a hospitality suite. If you can get them off the trade show floor and go and talk somewhere that's quiet, have a glass of wine or a beer or a coffee or whatever, and sit down and have a better conversation. That's the means with which you start generating conversations coming from a trade show. Because again, it's expensive. And to be quite honest, what I'm hearing, the undertones of all of this is, hey, we've been stuck with our families for the last 2.5 years. We want out. I'll go to Wisconsin. I'll go to Vegas. I'll go to Toronto. I'll go wherever just to get away for a little bit. And if that's our motivation, sure, totally fine. I get it. That's not how we get business. So how we really want to get business is to use those trade shows to its full extent and start generating pipeline. So if you can become a bit of a known quantity within that trade show, a la sitting on a podium, sitting on a panel, talking about whatever it is you do or some, piece of content that is interesting to your industry, you get that cachet, you get that elevation of brand, personal brand for the CEO, brand for the business, because you're talking about things that people care about in a place where they're stuck. They're stuck listening to you. And so if you can do that well, gosh, suddenly 100K makes a lot more sense if you're getting that pipeline. But are we taking names? Are we getting conversations? Are we having contacts? Or are we just getting business cards in a fishbowl? Kind of sucks. Anyway, events are back. What are you going to do? There's ways to get around these things. The smart ones know how to do it. What are you prepared to do? Anyway, Ruby doesn't want to go anywhere. I don't blame her. Walking and talking with Ruby.